Today, we have a world that is almost completely devoid of Christ, and we, as baptized Christians, have the duty and privilege of sharing the gospel with a world that desperately needs it. Through ChristLife, I was transformed into a Catholic evangelist, and I want to share with you all today of how I put the teachings of sharing Christ into practice in my own life. My name is Colin. I'm a high school student, and I'm the current intern at ChristLife Ministries, and I'm really excited to have my testimony shared in the new version of Sharing Christ. 2 years ago, I went through Sharing Christ for the first time, and I felt empowered and equipped to share the gospel with people. Every single opportunity I had in this class, I tried to share the gospel in whatever way I could. There was a girl in this class who was far from God, but she was interested in why every single day I would go in and share my faith. She was interested in why I had so much faith. After class, she came up to me and she asked me all about my faith. I shared with her about how Jesus had transformed me and delivered me from the slavery of sin. Now, I didn't have any class with her the next year, so I completely lost contact with her. However, when I began discovering Christ this year at my high school, when I was going around at lunch looking around for people to bring to the club and ask to join, I actually saw her sitting alone. I went up to her and I asked her, how she was doing faith-wise, and she said that over the year I hadn't talked to her, that she had come to faith on her own. And she attributed much of her current faith in what I had been preaching. She decided to take matters into her own hands and start searching for the truth. And today she's a Christian. She then shared with me how when I was preaching in those classes, even though every single person was against me, I invited her to join us on the journey that is discovering Christ, and she enthusiastically agreed. And now she comes almost every single week to our sessions. As I mentioned, sharing Christ gave me many of the principles that I use when evangelizing people. If you haven't heard yet, ChristLife is developing a new version of sharing Christ. And this new version is going to take the message of sharing Christ, of how to proclaim the gospel, and expand it to a new generation of Catholics. Pope Benedict XVI called for the re-proposing of the gospel to those regions awaiting the first evangelization and those regions where the roots of Christianity are deep, but who have experienced a serious crisis of faith due to secularization. This is ultimately what Sharing Christ achieves. It brings this idea that Pope Benedict XVI is proposing here, and it's making it real, it's making it practical, it's getting down to how do you really share Christ in your life? And this is why I'm so excited about this new version. Here's where you come in. We need to raise $130,000 to help fund this new version of Sharing Christ. To date, we have raised $47,000, so we are 36% of the way to our goal. Our deadline is December 31st, and I hope you generously give to help make this new version of Sharing Christ a reality as soon as possible. God bless you all. Thank you for your support.